Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Schrotta, and today I will be giving you a reflection on the book Leaving to Learn: How Out-of-School Learning Increases Student Engagement and Reduces Dropout Rates, with a deeper look at work-based learning. The resources you see on this screen I utilize in order to have this deeper reflection on the opportunity Leaving to Learn and work-based learning can have for our students. I started off by reading the book Leaving to Learn: How Out-of-School Learning Increases Student Engagement and Reduces Dropout Rates by Elliot Washer and Charles Moszkowski, forwarded by one of my favorites, Sir Ken Robinson. I also took a look at how other teachers have been implementing these ideas. And then I also took a look, as you can see, at a High School to Career Institute example, and then also a high school pathway example, so I could better understand how others are doing it, how well I'm doing it, and what I still need to work on. Leaving to Learn was an amazing book. It really solidified a lot of what I already felt that our students needed, but also opened my eyes to the reasoning behind why it's drastically needed. So what I'd like to do is break down this book simplistically and just talk about a few things that really stuck out for me. I'm going to talk about a few key points, concepts, and insights first. The book kind of flowed like this. It first helped you understand the reasons behind student disengagement. It helped me to develop an understanding of student expectations. We took a look at the reasons students disengage from their schools and their education. And the book pointed out a healthy discussion on the true meaning of success in modern day. It reiterated and pointed out how productivity, creativity, and hands-on learning engages students. It took a deeper dive into the discussion on the modern education system and how work-based learning and Leaving to Learn can increase students' academic success. And it showed me an insight into the many facets of work-based learning, Leaving to Learn outcomes, and how to develop learning opportunities and environments that fit individual learners. Before I move on, let's just talk about disengagement. The book broke it down pretty simple, utilizing a picture of an iceberg. We're talking about the big four. We've probably seen these in the past when we were students, and we'll probably see them in the future until we pull our students back in with some intrigue. The major four are academic failure, behavior, life events, and disinterest. Now there's deeper roots here too. Maybe the student feels like they don't matter. Maybe they feel that they're not fitting into the school system that they've been placed. They can simply feel like they're unrecognized and that their interests hold no value to anybody. And then, what really stuck with me, restrictions. In the world of STEM and standardization, education and learning definitely has its restrictions. When I moved on and got to chapter 2, it talks about high hopes. And really what it starts to discuss is relationships and how disengagement can start first from a lot of simplicity. Relationships. Let's talk about that for a minute. What are our relationships? Well, we have our student and their work relationship. We have our student and their life relationships. And then we have the student and teacher relationship. So in all of that, where is the growth and why is there always rebellion? The book really started to break down why. And it made me, what I love the most is when I look back and it discussed how children learn from very young age of kindergarten to secondary and high school. And the one question was asked, where's the love? When we're younger, we have all the opportunity of feeling personally loved, personally successful, personally driven. And our teacher gives each one of us our own special time. But as we grow, we start looking outside the classroom. And the outside world is so much more appealing than our classroom. And kids want to grow up. They want to go out there and experience life. And then when we get to high school, we start to lose even more students. And a lot of them are just screaming, Stop making me puke facts back up. Why don't I get to play anymore? And that really stuck with me. The idea of play and exploration really goes away as we get older. But then when we go to college, all we're asked to do is to explore. It's interesting, isn't it? Well, the discussion points that students' expectations were pointed out to me was that there needs to be relationships between you and your students, between them and their work, and them and their own life. There needs to be relevance, authenticity, application, choice in their learning, real life challenges, play, practice to do well, time to do well. So let me talk about two major things that I found really, really interesting in this book. Leaving to learn, developing pathways to future success. A student's input should be appreciated and heard. Expectations. We're talking about expectations. Now, these expectations are what you need to really gauge and understand if you want your students to be engaged and you want them to see purpose in what they're learning. You have to give them a little bit of what they're asking for. They're asking for curriculum that begins in the classroom, but then also is able to expand into authentic and relevant real-world practices. Challenging projects that utilize both critical and creative thinking skills. Why do we get rid of creativity so much as we get older? A rigor that includes the ability to play and explore, learning through failure and error. You want to see some failure along the way to success. That's what makes it so sweet in the end. That's really how we know we've not only become competent, but we've begun to master our skill or our interest. It had me really looking at what are the timelines I'm giving my students to achieve success. Is there other ways I can develop curriculum that may move in a different way? Maybe it flows a little bit different? Time is crucial. And I think we play a lot with time only in the sense of moving from A to Z, standardization. Students feel that too. I really want to aid in the development of a lifelong learner. It's key. I want them to feel that learning is not all about grades, that it can be engaging, it can be intriguing, it can be fun. And I feel like for the most of us, we really, really start to see that again when we all enter post-secondary education, when we first step inside that university classroom. So what does success look like? Life versus grades. Well, a lot of questions I used to ask that students also ask. Does having all A's mean I will be successful? Why am I really doing this? What is learning this going to do for my future? It's all about the money, right? Doesn't matter what I do. I just want to make that money. But the reality is, real goals are such. Obtainment of an enjoyable career. Career that you're happy with. A job you'd love to wake up to and go to every day. A career that allows for a productive work life and work environment. The ability to have and support a family, emotionally, mentally, and financially. The ability to be a part of your community. And the how to and the ability to get through life's ups and downs. So, what I would do this time is maybe connected to what my day-to-day is like. So what could this look like for a career in graphic design? Relevance leads to interest. So how and why are some educators developing pathways that are relevant and coincide with college and career success in the field of graphic design? I thought I'd help you take a look. Doing so allows each student to demonstrate proficiency professionally on computer design layouts, utilizing real professional tools of design such as Adobe Photoshop, After Effects, Illustrator, and InDesign, allowing opportunities for advanced classes with working professionals to develop mastery in design techniques and skills. It introduces the process of commercial printing with hands-on learning after the completion of projects on a variety of media and commercial packaging. And it aids in the development of programs that offer advanced classes that allow for experiences that simulate the graphic design industry through school and work-based learning opportunities. Authenticity leads to purpose. I love that word, authenticity. We're talking about real-world connections, understanding the principles of graphic communications and design and its place in the world, direct instruction from working professionals in the field of graphic design, developing real-world connections through community networking. All artists need to know how to network. Challenges that are set in real time, aiding in the development and understanding of commercial deadlines. It's not about just handing in your work by Friday. In the real world, it's about meeting the client's demands. And then projects designed for classroom learning and skills learned are then later used for the completion of industry-level projects. I want them to begin developing skills that aid in the success of freelance design work. Age is not an issue when it comes to be a working artist. Training in the how-to of starting your own independent business as a designer, or AKA freelance. What is a 1099 form? How do you know how much to charge? Why we develop skills and knowledge of pre-press and post-press procedures. Making a student well-rounded in their field of expertise on their way to being an expert. And these are some careers connected through work-based learning in the field of graphic design that we could start right here in the classroom, move into the ever-growing field of design within our own city of San Diego. Technical illustrator, Photoshop artist, photographer, pre-press technician, web designer, multimedia designer, logo designer, layout artist, flash designer, branding designer, creative or art director. These are just some of the many, many jobs that a student that is interested and pushed in an authentic way on a healthy pathway towards a successful career in graphic design. So, leading the way for lifelong learning, leaving to learn opportunities, and work-based education. I give this book a 5-star. I give the identity of leaving to learn a 5-star. I give the identity of work-based learning a 5-star. This course and this book have really aided in helping me really understand what is needed for a successful student. It's always interesting as a teacher when you think you've started to master your craft and master your understanding and master your ideology. And a book as simple as this can come through your lap and really start you to help to understand that there's more that you can do. There's networking and connections you can build. There's ways of showing your students that education can be learned in different ways. And just understanding and making you remember what it was like to be a student, not at a post-secondary or adult level. What it felt like to be bored in class. And then think to myself, well, why was I bored? This book really helped me see that I'm doing things right, like building relationships with my students, aiding my students in finding their next and helping them understand why networking is important and being the first net thrown to the next best thing for them. I really want to develop a stronger connection with my local community and help my students start to get out from my classroom at the advanced level and into mentorships and internships with local artists, local designers, and local agencies that may lead to an opportunity right out of school for a working job while they pursue post-secondary education in the field of graphic design or arts. I think this is a real opportunity to help aid the visual and performing arts programs at most schools. If we can really show the necessity, the opportunity, and the ability to connect with our local community, I think it would help aid administrations in a lot of schools understand the importance for the arts and the many, many financially successful and lucrative opportunities that careers in the arts have for students that are interested, skilled, and driven to live a life as an artist. Thank you so much, and have a good day.